Thank you for joining us again for another conversation with Carl and Latonya.
Yes.
I am Carl.
And I'm Latonya. Thanks for pressing play.
And watching us. And please tell people about these videos. If they bless you, spread them with 2,000 or 3,000 of your best friends.
Yeah.
There was a meme that I saw on Facebook last week on my friend Kevin Simon's page. Hey, Kevin, I'm shouting you out, brother man. On the page, it said something about how long should you date before you got married.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was of particular interest to me, having been married more than once and more than twice, but stopping at 3. Because it's interesting. Let's talk about this for a moment. How long do you think you should date before you get married? Are you really concentrating on the length of time you're dating? Or are you concentrating on your maturity, what you know about yourself? How to attract the person to you who is for you? Because God gives us information all the time about who we are.
Yeah.
Through the mistakes we make, through our experiences. The mistakes are a particular note because when you fall on your face, Jack, if you ain't learning something about yourself from that mistake, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And I have learned a great deal about myself. And I do know that from what I've learned brought this uniquely qualified, uniquely gifted person into my life, which would be you.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I really saw that. Oh, I maybe saw a different meme, but I saw a meme saying that people who date for at least a year, 2 years, and 3 years, or whatever, tend to stay married. That is so not true.
It isn't.
No, that is not true. I mean, you always have an exception here and there. There's always an exception to the rules. But that is not a fact. You know, facts are just hardcore facts that most people tend to, and that's not true.
You know, look, we are not advocating rushing into marriage, meeting someone at the club and marrying them tomorrow. You know, no. Fools rush in. Fools rush in. So this is not about rushing, but it is about being prepared for marriage in your heart, understanding what marriage is and what it is not. And it's a covenant. It is not a contract where if you get married to a person and they fail in a certain area, then now you have the license to divorce them. You always have the free will to divorce and do what you want to do. But when you date to get information, you're gathering data when you're dating, right? Mm-hmm. There is no way that every single I will be dotted, every single T will be crossed, because life happens. You can't, for example, know that when you're dating somebody that 5 years down the line that they may get sick or they may lose their job or they may have an issue or a problem performing sexually in 5 years. You can't know that. I often tell my guy friends there's nothing wrong with that. They're looking for the most fit, most fine, most nice bootied and nice dresses woman they can find. She's fit, she's smart, she's this, she's that. And all those things are great. But do they buy into who you are? Are they in your kingdom, men? Do they get you? Because if they don't get you, you can date them for 3 years. If you guys don't have a connection in a spiritual way that is uniquely divine based upon who you are, and you've dated for 3 years, and you go through the motions of getting married to that person, I guarantee you that when better or worse comes, and it will come, richer or poorer will come, what do you do then?
That's right. And it's just like if you just stick to that, if you're just dating somebody for the sake of dating somebody year after year after year, is because, well, we're not rushing in, we've been married before and don't want to go through this again. It's just like, what guarantee do you have?
There are no guarantees.
That you're not going to go through certain things after you get married. You don't know. I just feel like if you're putting marriage off for a long time, I'm not talking about people who are just dating. I'm talking about people who have someone specific in their lives, a special partner that they've been with for a while. What's your problem? Somebody's just enjoying their cake and eating it too. Somebody's just having a good time, don't want to make a serious commitment because somebody doesn't trust somebody You know,
Mm-hmm.
somebody really doesn't trust somebody. Somebody's waiting to see you mess up, or somebody's just like, they showing me some stuff that I'm not sure. I don't want to,
And I don't want to sound like I am, I don't want to sound negative here, but I've been married for 24 years of my life. And I see the immaturity that I had in both of the marriages before the one I had with you. If nothing else, I have to fall on the sword and own my own choices in terms of how I chose inappropriately for myself. And in both the previous situations, they were both different in that sense. But at the end of the day, marriage should be forever. I don't care how you feel about how relevant it is for the 21st century and are you meant to be with one person forever? People are actually together forever. There was on Steve Harvey, we saw, and I saw a snippet this morning of a couple that had been together for 50 years and that were happy.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you can't do it. It's really all about who you are.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you can do that, then why get married?
Yeah.
If you don't have that ready in you and that heart that is designed to serve your partner through everything.
Right.
I mean, through everything. Everything. Now, I'm going to get real controversial here. Okay? And I know there are people who are saying that if someone cheats on you, that's a license to get out. Yeah, I get that. I'm not going to judge that. But just understand that there are people who have even survived that.
Yeah. A lot of marriages survive.
Survive and thrive. We're not talking about survive it and go on hating each other. We're saying they survive it and thrive with a testimony.
Yeah. They get past it. And it's hard. I watched, who was that? One of the Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she survived it in public.
Yes.
But she was so real. That's what I loved about that girl. She just, was it Tina? Well, anyway.
I think they're both Marys to me. I don't.
Oh, she was so real. Because her sister was like, well, you got to put it in Jesus' hands. You got to put it. She says, don't come talk to me about Jesus. I don't want to hear nothing about the Lord. I don't want to. She says, I just know I'm hurting and I don't want to hurt and I don't know what to do about this. You know?
Exactly.
But they worked it out and they're together now. But see, this is the thing. You never know what's going to happen. But are you mature enough? Are you grounded enough spiritually and just with a wisdom? You got to know yourself. Can you stick through certain things? You know, I know, I'll be totally honest. There are some things that I'm just like, ooh, infidelity. Anything else, I'm good. But it's like infidelity. I'm not saying I'm one of those that can miraculously just, I'm going to get through that. No, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. See, and I will be honest with you. That is hard. And it's just like, you got to be able to get past that and never bring it back up. See?
And it's not a clean thing when that happens. And let's be clear, it's not just men who cheat.
Oh, no, I know a lot of ladies who
cheat. Let me tell you.
But
that's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's another
story. Get me started on that. But the whole idea, though, is not that it's easy. No. I look at it like this. We live in life. So in life, you have sickness, you have illness, which is the same as sickness, I guess.
Yeah.
You have richer times, you have poorer times. You have times of plenitude and plentifulness and happiness and sadness and loss. You know, people in your family pass away. You know, that's what life is. So when you get married to somebody, all those things are now going to be shared between two people, right? And you always tend to survive. You always talk about how if you stick to it, you've talked to me about this,
you can get through.
You always get through anything. And that's what marriage is designed to do to the glory of God, to the ministry of the world who are looking at you. Because marriage is a ministry. People don't, it's almost like people say, like athletes say they aren't role models. Well, whether you like it or not, you are a role model. And likewise, as married people, I've learned this, that even though marriage is a private relationship between two people, to the world is watching. And it's ministry as I see it. So those of you who are out there counting the days you're dating 7 months, you dated 5 months, dated 2 years, I get it. You don't want to be stupid about, gathering the data you need to get married. But for the most part, spend time focusing in on your readiness to go through life with someone.
Yeah.
And also focusing in on the person, if you're gathering data, as you're gathering that data, finding out if you're a man, from a man's perspective, is that woman buying into who you are, your life call? Do you have a life call? Do you have dreams and aspirations?
Yeah.
How successful have you been? Are they realistic? Are you pursuing them? Is the world and is God reinforcing that through people and through circumstances, what your call is? So have you ascertained that to give to a woman to see if she's buying it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so key.
Yeah, you got to know. He's got to know. You really got to know where you're going.
Yes.
As a leader.
Oh, yeah.
But and then also though, age has something to do with knowing when you want to get married or get into that relationship, that permanent relationship. As you get older, if you've been with somebody several times, different relationships, married different times, you know what? When you get older, I'm sorry, it does not take that long.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't take that long to realize when you've got a winner. Because number one, you know what you don't want now. You're old enough to know what you do not want. And you're old enough to know what you do want.
Right.
So it doesn't take forever to do it. If someone shows you, hopefully by now you are wise enough to look at somebody's behavior. If you've got somebody who is just, they're not going to be in it for the long haul. You know that if the money starts looking funny, they're going to run. You know that if you get sick, they won't be there. They won't have your back. They won't be there through thick and thin. You know. And if you don't, then yeah, you need to stay single.
Uh-oh.
Seriously. You just have to have a wisdom. You got to grow through some of the things,
The thing about it, too, is that Latonya made a great point. Because if you're 23, 24, you might need 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, take your time.
You might take your time.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong to take your
50,
time.
and this is for somebody out there.
Yeah.
If you are, first of all, it is a maturity issue because everybody's 45 isn't the same 45. But in general, if you're 44, 45 years old, approaching 50, 55 years old, and you've been dating someone for like 3 years, and the guy is not sure, I'm speaking to the women out there, and you want to be married, and you're with a dude, and he can't figure it out, and he's back and forth on you, I would even say 7 months. If the dude is not stepping up, now you guys may have a great time together, you may have a great chemistry and all of that connection, and you may love to be together. I'm speaking to you, I'm looking in the camera, I'm talking to you right now. If you are a woman and you want marriage, and the guy is fumbling around, and he's juggling the balls in the air, and he's tap dancing after 7 or 8 months, and that has not even mentioned marriage, much less even a commitment. Some of these guys aren't even talking about being your man. Mm-hmm. You are on your own. It is on you. You better get up out of there or start dating other people at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. How does he introduce you? Does he introduce you as my lady, my girl, my, girlfriend, I guess? Yeah. Does he just call out, oh, this is so-and-so, your name? Does he just give him your name? No.
I'm just saying.
You gotta be wise. You gotta
Now, if you're just out there kicking it and you don't care, good. I ain't talking to you.
Right.
I'm talking to you out there who want marriage. Now, you know what? On rare occasion, you got dudes who want marriage with women to do this. So the same goes for you. But it's very rare.
Goes both ways.
It's very rare that a woman, that it happens another way. Mm-hmm. But, I talked to quite a few women who were telling me, well, why is he saying this? Why is he committing with? I'm like, because he don't want to commit. No. And that is your sign to go or stay with full knowledge that he does not want to commit.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah, I've seen it too many times. If you're dragging this thing out year after year, and you definitely want marriage, ladies, because he's right, it tends to be more on the lady side where you let this happen to you. And look at the reasons he's giving you, okay? If you start identifying with his reasons, justifying them, well, he's right. We don't have enough money yet. We don't have a house yet and stuff like that. Then you're right. Stay unmarried with this particular person, because if anything happens in that area, both of you, you're gonna squish it. It's just gonna be. It's just don't even get married. But if you look at his reasons and they just don't jive, they have no substantial ground. he really doesn't want to get married, but you got to move on. Why is it so hard for you to move on? That's what you need to deal with. Why is it so hard for you to continue to be disrespected and just totally lied to? It's just like you give him all these outs.
You're nicer than I am because I don't even care what the reason is. You know, I look at the bottom line of the behavior. Yeah. You know, you want to be married. If he wants to be married, he's going. Let me tell you something. When men have testosterone, which gives us resolve. And if we want something, we are going to get it. Mm-hmm. And we will at least make it known we want it.
Yeah.
So if you're dating a dude and you're having a great time and you, my friend, my lady friend, want to be married and he's not talking about it at all, mm-hmm. and he's not even trying to make a commitment to be your man, okay. You can date for 3-4 years, and then you keep going. So now it's a year, now it's a year and a half, now it's 2 years, now it's 3 years,
and
now you got all that investment that you got. Just know that if you do that and it doesn't work out, do not blame the dude.
That's right. You let it go
also, do not take that to the next situation, being bitter and mean and evil toward all men, blaming men for what you actually tolerated.
Yes.
That's all.
Right. And men, don't drag ladies on
when
you know. If you know they want to get married, but there's something about her that you're like, she's not quite wifey material, or she's a bit of a nag. I don't know if I can put up with that. Or whatever it is. If you don't think you can live with it,
but men
let her go.
But men do know that the whole thing about the nagging is kind of weak.
No, they don't. Yes, no. I know some guys. No. They are not committing fully to certain ladies because they know they get tired of the nagging.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that part of never mind. There's nothing wrong with nagging because that is a female attribute that's in you guys. It's not nagging. You guys call it nagging, but it's not really nagging. It's just something that's in you. You guys want stuff, and we have to respond to it.
That's the difference in somebody with your level of maturity. Right, ladies?
Uh-oh.
Right.
I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah,
okay, so are we done?
Yeah.
Let's be done. So thank you for joining us for another conversation with Carl and Latonya. Or should it be Latonya and Carl? We used to.
It works.
Okay, whatever. I'm Carl Gilliard. Thanks for joining us. Peace. 2 fingers. I like that.